our society is very toxic. Very toxic environments all over the place. Our kids are being raised in toxic environments. They're being raised in homes where they feel abandoned because of the mom chooses her career over the child if that child still has parents. Our society looks down at stay at home moms that want to take care of their kids and raise their own kids instead of like going to work and then paying somebody else to raise their kid for them, like they're some kind of celebrity, wannabe celebrity. Um, and um, there's so many fatherless homes too, where you don't have a good masculine leader in the house. Um, and it's the environments for kids being raised nowadays are just they're garbage. They're complete trash. And then the products, the millennials will show you. The millennials are showing you, and I hear people complain about the millennials all the time. Well, they're lazy. Yeah, you're correct. They are. Well, who raised them? Who's the ones that who raised this spoiled, entitled generation? Who did it? Did they raise themselves? What environment did these people come out of? You know, I like Jocko Willink. He talks about complete ownership of your mistakes, right? Taking complete ownership. Even if it's not your fault, you're the leader. You're the leader. Take responsibility for your actions. If you're a parent and your kid screws up, take responsibility. Maybe, like, for instance, my kid just got his driver's license. Well, the first test he failed. You know why he failed? Because I didn't teach him every single little thing to help him pass that test, right? Now she was a little strict, but the next day he passed with flying colors. 93 out of 100. The guy was very impressed about with his driving skills. But I took responsibility for him failing that first test. And people need to take responsibility of why your kid is lazy. If you wonder why people are looking at sex as a form of infection, affection, not infection, affection nowadays, is because they're not being taught, they're not being loved as a child. They're not being shown love as a child. They're not being shown love and affection. They're not getting hugged. They're not getting any of that. So what do they go out and seek when they're adults? You wonder why we have a hookup culture. You wonder why people, especially females, seek affection when it should be like hand holding, kissing, cuddling and stuff like that. You wonder why women are giving things up so easily nowadays and over the last 5 years. It's because they're not getting any type of affection. Um, as a child. So they don't know any different. They don't know what love is. They don't know what love is from a parent. They don't know what like love is from a partner. And I'm not talking about just physical with making babies or whatever. I'm talking about genuinely caring for that person. They don't know what it's like. So they go seek out these intimate physical hookup relationships because that's the only affection that they can get. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. I know because this is what I went through. I've done this myself. But it's worse for a woman. It's worse. when I was doing this, I was effeminate. I was. I was a weak man. Now I don't do it so much anymore. Hardly at all. But I did it. So, you wonder why we have a hookup culture. You wonder why we have such disrespect for people have disrespect for their own bodies, and they don't have, and they seem like they lack morals. Well, were they ever taught it to begin with? Did the parents ever spend any time teaching them anything? And I'm going to tell you, you people that think Generation Z is going to save the day, they're not. They're going to be worse than the millennials. They're going to have some that are good, of course. But they're going to be worse. And they're more disrespectful. They're not being taught anything. Generation Z is, here's a screen. That's the only thing that they know. Here's a screen. 2 years old, here's a screen. Instead of playing with toys and socially interacting with other kids, they're just being handed a screen. And they're being raised with that babysitter screen. So it's no wonder why people, especially females, because females like that affection, females like that physical affection, that touch. They like to be touched, caressed by somebody they're attracted to, obviously, but they like that. And in this day and age, when most men are only seeking out one thing, and a lot of guys aren't going for long-term relationships because women are their own man of their own life, they don't need us for nothing. It's just a snowball effect. And you see, what's going to happen is you see a lot of these females wasting their life away. They're wasting their youth. Whether they're on OnlyFans, or they're out living that, like somebody commented on my video, like they're out living that van life. They're literally being homeless. they're living in a car. They're free. It's like dogs and cats are the substitute for a man, for women. They get a cuddle, they get affection from the animal that they ain't getting from a man. That's why we are where we're at. And it's going to continuously get worse until there's some pain and suffering in our society. But there is none. There's no, I don't know when the party's going to end. We deserve, our society deserves pain and suffering. Our society, how entitled and spoiled people are, we deserve a famine. How arrogant people are, how they think that they're so much better than everybody. We deserve to be humbled. We deserve that medicine. Because people just think, there's a lot of people in this society that think that groceries just show up on shelves, like it just magically appears on there. People take things way too much for granted and they don't appreciate much. And that's how they're taught. It's not even really their own fault. It's their parents haven't taught them nothing. And I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. The next generation is going to be worse than the next generation until there's some actual pain and suffering. And then these kids can wake up and be like, dang, man. They don't have to wake up. Because the party's not ending. Once the good times stop, then people start realizing things. Until then, you're just going to see a further decay, further detachment. And it's going to be right in your face. You'll be like, what kind of society are we living in? Where are we headed with this?